with liberty and justice for all.
Let's remain standing and think of our troops serving overseas and all of our first responders here in the States. Thank you. Have a seat. It's now 7:06. I'd like to open, motion to open the public hearing to consider the tentative budget for fiscal year ending May 31st, 2019.
Motion?
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. At this time, I'd like to open up public comment. Anyone here from the public that would like to comment, please come up to the mic, state your name and address.
Moira's not here.
No. They text out.
Good evening, Paul Gerard, 2 Cross Street. I requested some information. I foiled some information on current year expenditures. I foiled that back on March 5th. I just got it last night, about about 5 o'clock yesterday. Which is pretty late. So I didn't get an opportunity to look at some things like I wanted to. So I wanted to request certainly if anybody else wants to speak tonight and they're here, they should be heard. But I wanted to request a couple days to look over what I had requested, because it's supposed to be received 20 days after the request, and it was well past that. And I understand things happen, but again, from last night to now, because I work all day, I really didn't get an opportunity to scrub some of the numbers that I requested.
Okay. So we'll try to get you that information. Do we have his FOIL request?
He said he received it.
He received it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I should clarify that, yeah, I did receive it. I didn't receive exactly the detail I wanted. I did get the balance sheet I wanted and the revenue detail. However, the expense was really just sum totals by department, and I had requested, it was the exact same request I requested last year, and I got it exactly how I needed it last year, but this time it came with just summary totals by the department expenditures, and I was looking for the line item that shows
Breakdown.
the personnel, the contractual, the equipment, that type of detail.
Okay.
Mayor, just if I may, Paul, I'm sorry, I thought that the request said totals by department, and it said expenditures by department. And that's fine, I mean, we can get you the detail.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand it. Okay.
It did say expenditures by department, but again, is the exact, all I did was change the date on the last FOIL and sent the same one in, and it came differently last time, so I thought that would come back the same way. So I hate to request another hearing, but I can make some points tonight to make that shorter, but
I don't know if we have the time to consider another public hearing before April 16th meeting.
that's what I'm requesting, yes.
Another meeting.
What?
Well, yeah, because I foiled information in preparation for this meeting, and it didn't come until last night.
Just to clarify,
Yes.
there is going to be another hearing on the 16th.
There's going to be one on the 16th that adopts the final budget, right?
Potentially.
Potentially.
So,
Excuse me, he's talking about the public hearing on the budget. The 16th is scheduled for the adoption of the budget.
right.
Right.
There wouldn't be much time if you had a hearing on the 16th. In fact, you would not be able to adopt it if you had any changes that evening subsequent to another hearing on that date. There wouldn't be enough time to be able to appropriately give you the updated information.
And the notice.
Well, the updated information, I mean, you know, once changes are made to the budget, they have to be put into the document, run through the system, proofed, and double-checked with the assessor in terms of the assessment and levy of the taxes and so forth, before the final document is then prepared for the 16th for adoption, so that you have the appropriate rates and information in there. So if there was
Okay.
going to be another public hearing, it would have to be fairly soon after this one.
Yeah, but we would need the time frame, the notice, and what's the length of time on that?
Well, you could continue the public hearing to a date certain.
So you want to continue the public hearing for another day this
That's
week,
not up to me.
Frank?
Wednesday night? You have to check.
Not available, Attorney.
And I'm not available Thursday.
Not available
Thursday.
Thursday,
How about Wednesday?
Wednesday. No,
Attorney.
I'm available.
doesn't look like we're going to be able to accommodate that in a short time frame.
Okay.
Do you have the points that you can make now?
Well, I could certainly make some. I can make some of the ones that I made last week.
Okay,
But, you know, that's why there's a freedom of information law to begin with.
right. And they sent you the information you received.
Right, but it's about at least 15 days late.
Maybe 15 days late.
It's supposed to be received within 20 days of the request. And, you know, and Mr. Giannino responded to me the next day, and he said, we'll get you the information, it will be no later than 20 days, which is what the law states. But it, you know, that would have been around March 25th, and I got it last night.
Just, not that I'm questioning you personally, but wasn't last night a Sunday? Wasn't last night a Sunday?
Yes?
You get Sunday mail delivery?
It was an email.
What do you mean it
I'm not
wasn't?
following your question.
It was
he
an
emailed me
email, he's
last night.
asking you how did you receive the information?
How did I receive the
Yeah.
information? Mr. Giannino emailed me the reports.
Emailed,
Okay.
email.
Okay.
I mean, Moira's on her way in. If we can get the three of us for Wednesday,
Okay?
we can continue till Wednesday.
So if we could do this time Wednesday, I can accommodate that. I mean, that would give me enough time. I'd only request that I'd also get that line item detail on the expenses. Everything else is perfectly fine what I received. And if I could get that, you know, sometime in the early part of tomorrow, before noon, that would be helpful. And
So,
I'm sorry to request this, it's just that I was just trying to follow the protocol, but I didn't, you know, like I said, I got it last night and there really wasn't enough time. I mean, I worked all day today. I just got here from work. So,
15 days late. That's what it is. Okay, so we'll consider that.
consider it, we're gonna schedule.
Well, we're going to see if there's anyone else here from the public that would like to speak.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And then we're going to continue through
We
the
gotta
public
see if we
hearing.
can get 3 members of the
Right.
board, and we don't know yet. We already know only 2
Okay.
can make it.
Well, if for some reason we can't vote on that and that doesn't happen, I mean, I guess I'm gonna come up and say whatever I can, but I would hope that, you know, close the public hearing and then not have it on Wednesday.
We're not going to close the public hearing. We're going to most likely continue the public hearing until Wednesday.
Okay.
When Moira gets here, and if
Great.
she's available on Wednesday.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Wednesday.
Jim Genatino, 2 Memorial Drive. My question is, I have the original March 20th budget. Have any revisions been made to this budget
No,
since March 20th?
No, this is the first time the board is meeting on it as a body since that date.
So there's been no changes whatsoever?
No, there have been discussions,
That's
but
very unusual. Usually the changes are done before the public hearing, so that the public has a copy of what the board is
I forgot
looking to
bring the
pass.
calendar in.
I was going to ask for you to continue this to the 16th, so we can see a revised budget and know what we're dealing with. I mean, I've looked through the whole budget too. Things are going to change. We all know they're going to change. You guys said it was going to change at the meeting a week ago. So what's the point in standing up here and going through things that some of them are definitely going to change? We all know that from past experience. So I'll go along with him. I'd like to see the revisions before I stand here and go through a whole budget. And then 10 of the things are going to change. I know some of this stuff has got to change. Otherwise, you're at 5.5% increase. And I know you don't want to be there.
Okay.
When are we going to continue?
We have to wait for Moira. Is there anyone else here that would like to speak? Now we have to wait for Moira to show up.
Mayor, I'd like to ask a question. I
ahead.
was following up on an email that I sent to Michael, and a few times I've asked Michael about my personal longevity. I was wondering if that would be included.
that will be included in the changes, yes.
Thank you.
Recess.
Motion to continue the public hearing for now until 7:40.
Got to push these two down.
Okay, so we'll make a motion to continue the public until 7:40 this evening, awaiting Ms. Hertzman. Have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye, okay. So we might as well wait for her. And don't do the other public hearings until she comes in.
Well, I don't know. Let's find out if we have same issues.
If we do, we're gonna have to do the same thing. Might as well just wait for her,
Okay.
you know? Can we open this one?
Okay.
Okay, so I make a motion to open the public hearing. It's 7:19, public hearing regarding local law to exceed the real property tax levy limit for the Village of Suffern in excess of the limit established in the general municipal law, section 3C. Have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
A second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Anyone from the public that would like to speak in regards to local law to exceed the real property tax levy limit for the Village of Suffern?
Okay.
Come on, Mr. Kraushaar, you shouldn't be surprised.
No. I was going to try to, anticipate what you were going to say and say it, but by all means.
Paul Gerard, 2 Cross Street. Okay, and I think I know what you were going to say, that this is just a provision that we don't want to exceed, which I understand, but I do want to point out, or just repeat something that I said at last week's meeting, that we had, I raised last year at this time the point that we had, and Mr. Giannino had agreed with me upon responding to it a few days later, that we had quite a large surplus in the 2016 budget of somewhere in the neighborhood of $1.4 million. When I went through, this is in the general fund, when I went through the tentative budget, which is our first look at actuals for 2017, I did the same exercise, and we're showing a $700,000 surplus there. So in 2 years, we've got over $2 million surplus in taxes and revenues that we brought in versus what expenditures we had. That's a sufficient surplus to not have to push a tax increase of 5.5% or anything over whatever the cap is. We have funds to draw from so that we don't need to additionally tax the residents. So I'm just making that point that it's not necessary to even have that as a contingency to whether or not we might need to go over any kind of a cap. I just think that we have the funds. The balance sheet that I received from Mr. Janito is very healthy, in my view, in terms of liquidity. So that's just the point I wanted to make, is I don't really think we need that provision in case we need to go over, because I don't think we need to draw any more funding from the residents of this village when we have a surplus like that. Thank you.
Unfortunately, I have to disagree with the previous speaker. If we start cutting into whatever the balance is, that's how we wound up in the shape we were in 4 or 5 years ago. So let's not start taking away from the credit that we built up, because it'll only take one bad year and you'll be out there begging for money again. Don't start taking your surplus.
Sure you can. Absolutely.
Paul Gerard again. No, I can respect the point that Mr. Giantino is making, but if we look into the big expenditures that are driving the proposed 5.5% increase, again, it's contingencies. It's $200,000 in the general fund, $200,000 in the sewer fund, or it's either 200 in the sewer, 200 in the water, and then 100 in the other. That's $500,000 that, again, we can almost say we don't need a contingency, because we have this healthy cash balance on the balance sheet that would fund any type of an emergency or unforeseen expense. So either way, either way you look at it, it really doesn't justify that type of an increase. Thank you.
I don't want to make this a debate.
Moira is here.
Are you aware of what that contingency money is for? Do you have any idea why that contingency money is in the budget? It's not unknown. You have 2 union contracts that need to be negotiated.
Is there anyone else from the public that would like to speak, other than Jim or Paul? Okay.
Motion to close it.
Okay, motion to close the public hearing on the local law exceeding the real property tax cap levy limit.
Motion.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Have a resolution authorizing the adoption of a local law for property tax levy in excess of the limit established by General Municipal Law, Section 3C. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
Tax levy.
Going up to the first public hearing.
No, I'm gonna wait until 7:40.
Okay.
Dan, just do number 5. till we come back around at 7:40.
Okay. Village clerk received a letter from Penflex on behalf of Lance Weinstein. Lance was a participant in the LoSAP program, and I had a conversation with someone who was responsible for his case file from Penflex. He informed me, both verbally and in writing, that Mr. Weinstein did the required amount of service time, and due to his permanent disability, as evidenced by the New York State retirement determination, was eligible for a pre-entitlement age total and permanent disability benefit in the amount of approximately $13,000. This program is administered by a third-party
Administrator.
third-party administrator, but the name is trying to remember. Comerica, to the best of my recollection. This is a resolution authorizing the village clerk to sign the letter to Penflex. Penflex would then send on the letter and the appropriate documentation to Comerica, and the actual check would be sent by Comerica to Mr. Weinstein.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. So I'm gonna wait a little longer for the second, for 7:40. Got 10 minutes, I see. Okay, so May I have a resolution here? Let me find it. Establishing a temporary loading and unloading zone on the east side of Chestnut Street, Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 3:30, occupying 4 parking spaces, and a temporary loading and unloading zone on the west side of Chestnut Street, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., occupying 4 parking spaces. Do I have a motion?
May I make a comment?
After the second.
After we...
Yeah.
Okay.
Who made the motion?
Do I have a motion on that?
Motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
All right, discussion?
The businesses involved, they've been notified, there's no problem.
Yes.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. PM.
Yeah,
Does it say AM?
What does it say?
the resolution says PM, but the agenda says AM.
You know what I mean? The business day, 6:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m.
No, but the operative resolution has the correct one.
Oh, on the resolution, I got you, okay. Okay, next I have a resolution authorizing Ways and Means Production to film Fender, Grace Vanderwall, in the Village of Suffern on Saturday, April 14th, 2018, from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Okay, I'm running through this. Next resolution authorizing William Barish to attend CSEA Safety and Leadership Training on April 27th through the 29th in Lake Placid.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
That's at no cost to the village. For a registration, reimbursement for tolls and gas will be provided to the attendee upon submission to the village clerk with a voucher with supporting documents. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
I I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Aye, motion passes. Okay.
D, option D.
You could jump to this public hearing.
All right, well, we're on the FD here. Yeah. So the fire department, we're gonna do that by resolution for the Jeep show.
Over the details.
Time frame. What's the time? What's the time on that, on the Jeep, on the show?
Yes.
11 a.m. to 4. Okay, so, I'd like to make a motion to allow the Suffern Volunteer Fire Department to conduct their annual Jeep show in the F lot. Actually, it's a Suffern Hook and Ladder, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, Suffern Hook and Ladder to utilize the F lot for the Jeep show on June 2nd from 11 to 4 p.m. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Can I have a copy of
You
that?
have a copy.
Okay, thank you.
Next,
John Moore.
7:30, I'd like to open a public hearing regarding the setting of water rates effective June 1st, 2018 for the Village of Suffern. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Anyone from the public that would like to speak on the establishing of water rates effective June 1st? Please come up. Name and address.
Jim Genatino, 2 Memorial Drive. I'm not questioning the rates, I'm questioning when the meters are going to be read.
When are the meters going to be read?
We've had a discussion about this being back charged.
Well, the meter reading, Mike, when do we do the meter reading for the November billing?
Well,
Like-
actually, the meters are going to be read,
In
they're being
May.
read now
In May.
for the May billing.
For the May billing.
They're in the process right now of reading the meters. They have only a few left to do.
So the concern is with the reading of the meters for the first billing, for the first year, for the first
Well,
billing.
actually, the concern is, Mayor, that if you're reading them, let's say you get done by the 10th, the other 20 days in April get charged at the higher rate, under the new water rates.
And then the previous ones get charged at the lower rate, previous to that.
No, the current rate,
The current rate, excuse me.
which is what they should be charged at.
Okay. Is there anyone else from the public?
He's speaking on the water rates?
Yes, water.
Okay.
Just a point on the contingency, again, 200,000 of the 350,000 increase is contingency. Did we have any unforeseen expenses in 2018 thus far?
Yes.
For the water?
Yeah.
Mike, what's that? The testing? Yes. We utilize the contingency fund. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. Do we know what that was used on? Was it a various things, or was it one big thing, or?
Mike, do we have the detail on the,
I know we had used it in the sewer fund. I'm not so sure about the water fund to date, whether we've used any of the water fund contingency.
for the testing?
We had testing because of the
Ramapo?
Ramapo and Hillburn, well, Sloatsburg and Hillburn.
Right.
Dumping, to be proactive about
He
whether or
doesn't know
not.
if it came from the water fund.
Yeah, I don't know
From the contingency fund.
which fund that would have come from, but my recollection, it was anywhere between 40 and 60,000.
I don't know if that was directed to me. I didn't hear you not speaking into the mic, I'm sorry.
Me?
No, Mr. Kraushaar was talking to me. I couldn't hear the numbers he was quoting because...
Remember the article in the newspaper about...
But that's not his question. His question is, will we use the contingency fund? No, that money, we need to have that detail.
Okay, so not sure.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, because the sewer fund has 100,000 contingency in it from last year, and maybe that's...
Well, definitely the sewer contingency is being used. We have a DEC order on consent that's requiring us to lay out significant improvements to the water in addition, to the sewer, in addition to projects that we're funding to meet that same order on consent requirements.
Okay. All right.
You passed the resolution on the water.
No, we didn't yet. We will. Motion to close the public hearing on amending the Village of Suffern water rates.
For the fiscal year 2018-19.
Second, first, Frank Hagen, seconded by,
Second.
all in favor? Aye, motion passes. I have a resolution amending the Village of Suffern water rates for fiscal year 2018-2019. Whereas the new rate for fiscal year 2018-19 are to be amended as follows: for consumers within the village, for the first 10 units or fraction thereof, with a $35 minimum charge. For that portion over 10 units and less than 71 units, $3.54 per unit. For that portion over 70 units, $4.62 per unit. For consumers outside the village limits, for the first 10 units, fraction thereof is $60. For a portion over 10 units, $5.31 per unit. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
I haven't.
Make a motion to open the public hearing regarding the setting of sewer rates effective June 1st. Have a motion?
Motion.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak in regards to the sewer rates?
Any questions on water rates?
Okay.
Charging.
Just a question on the 80,000 in equipment charge in the wastewater treatment plant section.
Yes, there are, part of that order on consent required us to fix two things, and forgive me for not understanding fully what the equipment is, but one is a screen filter replacement, and then there was another $40,000 item associated with, again, the sewer plant itself. This is equipment that is, needs to be replaced in order to meet the new requirements, DEC requirements.
Okay. And the...
Oh, I'm sorry, it was an ultraviolet system, the other one. One was ultraviolet and the other was a screen cleaning system.
Okay, thank you. And then the increase on the bond, no principal, is that tied to the new bond we just issued?
Yes, that ties in with our debt service schedules, and on the back of towards the back of the budget document, you'll see a breakdown of those amounts. It's a schedule of long-term debt. Let me just see what page that's on. Well, one place that you can see it is in our debt service fund, page 26. And then to actually see the breakdown of that long-term debt itself is on page 33.
saying on page 26?
26 is the debt service fund that actually makes the debt service payments. That's the money comes out of the sewer fund to the debt service fund to make those payments, but the actual payment, as if you were looking at a mortgage schedule, on page 33. And you'll see that the sewer fund, yes, has an additional $10,000 in principal payment and $12,000 in interest for the latest borrowing that we did through the Environmental Facilities Corp.
Okay, the 300, okay, I see it. Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone else? Okay, so the resolution amending the Village of Suffern sewer rates for fiscal year 2018-2019 pursuant to local law number 4 of 2016, adopted on April 11, 2016, which allowed the future sewer rates to be amended by resolution. And whereas the new sewer rate for fiscal year 2018-2019 are to be amended as follows. For consumers within the village, sewer rate shall be $10.37 per 100 cubic feet of water consumed. The minimum sewer rate shall be $25 per billing period. For consumers outside village limits, the sewer rate shall be $12.96 per 100 cubic feet of water consumed, and the minimum sewer rent shall be $25 per billing period. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye, motion passes. Okay, it is now 7:43. I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearing. Wait a minute. To consider the tentative budget for fiscal year ending May 31st, 2019. Have a motion?
Motion.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Now that Ms. Hertzman is here, we're going to consider continuing the public hearing to a date certain, which we're going to discuss right now. Are you available on Wednesday? At 7? It all hinges upon you.
No pressure.
Unless we come up with a new decision in there.
I might not be able to get here until a little bit after 7.
7:30.
I'll shoot for 7.
You shoot for 7, good. Gentlemen? Monday? Could we do it Monday?
Wednesday, another continued public.
No.
I didn't get it.
Okay.
It's, just to clarify what the issue is. As you go through making changes to the budget, in order to ensure that you have the proper information in front of you as to the tax levy, the tax rate, the amount of revenues estimated, and the appropriations that you all agreed to, in order to make sure that we have the appropriate information in front of you so that you are voting on something that we know works, we will take those changes, run them through our system, our financial management system, then run them through this report that we have, a budget that we do, to make sure that everything agrees. And we also concur with the assessor in running it through his system, because he takes all that information and then runs it through the assessment system to make sure that the tax rate that we say we've adopted works with the assessed valuation that he has in his system. So when all of this stuff is coordinated and then we're comfortable that that information's available to you, the board, then we're confident saying this is the rate, this is the tax levy, and this is either the amount that we're going to be at the tax levy cap or over or under it, all of that information has to be before you for us to give you confidence in voting on it.
Okay.
So, again, if you waited to close it until Monday, we don't necessarily have an issue with that, but hopefully Monday you would have a document in front of you with whatever changes you made during the week, and that you would be willing to vote on it. If, because of the public hearing on Monday, somebody decided to change a number in the budget, we wouldn't be able to just take a calculator out and say, yeah, that's going to work for us.
Right. Okay.
I mean, we wouldn't be confident in doing that.
So we are going to continue the public
Can I
hearing.
ask a question before you do that?
Sure, go ahead.
What is the drop dead date this budget has to be approved? Isn't it
May 1.
30th of April or May?
May 1.
May.
What are we knocking ourselves out for? You got till May 1. You can make it whatever you want.
You have to have it. First one needs to be done for the 20th.
Okay.
Just-
Oh,
Go ahead. You say what you're going to say.
go ahead. No, no.
Maybe I won't have to say anything.
No, I was going to make a motion to do something, so you have to speak first. Go ahead.
I just found out today I'm going to be out of town Monday, so if you guys move it to Monday, and I feel like I'm the one who's
No.
driving this
We're going to have
change.
it Wednesday.
Okay.
We're going to continue it till Wednesday.
Okay.
And then we're going to have another meeting, budget hearing to adopt on Monday,
The following Monday.
the 16th.
No, next Monday.
No, that's this Monday.
Yeah.
that's the day
Right.
we're going to
So you'll be
adopt.
out of town.
No, but you're saying that's the same day you were going to adopt. That's not
Most
changing.
likely. Well, we don't know until we
Right.
vote on it.
Until we
Right.
find on when, okay.
Right.
Okay.
So is Wednesday good with you?
Yes.
Okay.
This Wednesday?
This Wednesday. So I make a motion to continue the public hearing to
Let's make it clear on which,
Wednesday,
continue the public hearing on the tentative budget for fiscal year ending May 31st, 2019. And now to Wednesday,
April 11th,
11th, at
7. Maura, you're good with 7?
Yes.
Yeah, right, you don't have to kill yourself.
April the
Get there
11th?
early.
I don't want to sit here for 45 minutes. I'll be here at 7.
7. Wednesday, April 11th, 2018, at 7 PM. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
A second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Maura made the motion,
Yes.
and Joe seconded?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, I did. Mayor, I will not be here because I will have fire
Oh, you
training.
can't be here?
Okay.
Frank, you'll have to second it.
Yeah, good idea, I'll second.
Thank you.
Are you going to have the changes by tomorrow? On the tentative budget? So that-
Excuse me,
What we're talking about?
but let's start with the fact that the body, the board here has not met to discuss changes in great detail. There has been different suggestions from different board members about changes.
Which is normal.
And if they tell me that they want to make a change to the budget, that change will be made. And I would have it by Wednesday, but I don't know that we
I
would
mean,
have that.
this really doesn't make sense to me, Ed.
Why? We've been in
If
discussion
you-
about the budget for the last couple of
Are you going to make your
weeks.
changes tomorrow? And
Yeah,
he's
with
gonna
the
have them-
changes that each member has considered,
Right.
we will present, and then the changes will be implemented.
And
then
we won't get a copy of it till when?
Till
Just
Wednesday.
before the meeting.
Wednesday.
So we won't have a chance to look at it and discuss it intelligently. I think you're rushing a process that you have over a month to complete.
Okay, motion to close the public hearing.
Continue.
Okay, no, I did that already. Public hearing is continued, I'm closing this hearing.
that motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.